As I was working on the science of confidence, I was looking for a correlation between confidence, risk, and success. To find the correlation, I created the helium test. I started with 1,000 high school students. Each student had to write their name and a one-sentence secret on a note and then place the note inside of a balloon. Then they had to make a choice of how to fill the balloon and secure it. The students had 3 choices: air only, helium only, or helium in a string. All tests were conducted outside. If the students chose air, the balloon stayed grounded and the student could always be in control of the balloon. The student could just video the balloon and turn the video in for a letter grade of B. At any time, the student could pop the balloon and retrieve their note and be done with the test. With helium and string, the student would secure the balloon so that it could not float away, recognizing, of course, that there was a slight risk that it could float away. At any time, they could pop the balloon and retrieve their note. All they needed to do was video balloon and then turn that video for a letter grade of B. Finally, with helium only, the student had to attempt to keep up with the balloon without securing it to anything. The risk of losing the balloon and their secret would be very high. If the balloon floated away, then the student would have to write a story of what happened to the balloon. They would get a letter grade based only on their work, on their submission. Out of 1,000 college students, only 5% chose helium only. Only 5% were interested in taking a risk and reaching what was not guaranteed, a grade of A. We conducted the test again with executives from various companies and changed the incentive. Of the 1,000 executives, only 3% were interested in helium only or taking the bigger risk that required their skills. Finally, we tried again with athletes. We gathered first-string, off-the-bench players as well as well-known athletes from as many sports as we could fathom. Of the 1,000 athletes, only 1% were interested in taking a risk. 97% of these athletes were also among the top athletes in their sport. So what does this tell us about success, risk, and confidence? The most interesting deduction was that all of the helium-only subjects, or those willing to take the biggest risk, were extremely successful and had no problem relying on their skills. When we interviewed them, they talked about taking risks, failure, learning lessons, and moving forward. They were confident in their decision-making skills, their strengths, and leveraging those strengths to be successful. They rarely concentrated on things that they didn't do well. They did not consider themselves courageous, but did say that they would have enough courage to use their strengths to try something different. They were interested in setting standards, being innovative, and reaching for higher goals. They also did not see others as competition as much as they saw others as partners that could be leveraged towards greater opportunity. It was their confidence that led to their ability not only to think outside of the box, but to live outside of the box and take risks that reap rewards. So this bears the question: what would you do with your balloon?